Hi, guys. It's us.
Hello out there. We're on the air.
We're on the air. You know what I'm not on? I'm not on the vape because I quit.
I know. I'm so proud of
It's
you.
so hard, you guys. So hard. And
It's not
like
easy.
my husband did it too, so we're in it together. And like it's actually been really good having a partner to do it. So if anyone out there, is a vapor or smoker, message us because I am in it and I'm winning. And it's
She's
like,
in it to win it,
yeah,
folks.
guys, I'm learning the tricks, I'm learning the tips, I'm doing the thing. I'm miserable, but I'm playing it out like a game of will, and that's all it is. At the end of the day, it's
Look
just a
at you
game of
go.
will. Yep. I didn't really want to have like a big opener today because I'm about to break everyone's heart.
No, it's one of them.
Yeah, I got a really sad story that I think has to be told. And I'm sorry in advance if I ruin your day because this ruined my night. I thought about it
Yeah.
constantly last night. But as we like to do on Triggered, we like to remember the victims. And this one is about a child. We are
Yeah.
going to talk about it and we're going to be strong because this little girl deserves everyone to remember and think about her today.
Yeah. And you know what? With this podcast, like we have fun. Don't get us wrong for a second. We have such a good time. There are certain cases, certain stories that you lose sleep over.
This is one of them.
Yeah, you're not okay. And
Yeah.
and that's okay.
So I'm going to get into it. We are mothers of daughters.
Mhm.
And I know we have, and I'm sure everyone can relate to their children or a little human that they love in their life, whether it be a niece or a grandchild or just a friend's kid. But have you ever met a kid who just shines?
Mhm. Yeah.
They just, they're like older than their years. You look at them and
Mhm.
like they're going to be incredible or they're going to do something great. And you just know that. Like they just have something special. Not to say not all kids are special, but there's some kids that just stand out, right?
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about, where it's just they can't they don't get lost in the crowd, like, they
No,
stand out.
no. Yeah. And that was the case of Gizzell Ford. Everyone called her Jizzy. She was this cutie pie. And I want to talk about Jizzy today because she was adorable. She was only 8 years old, but she carried herself with a quiet confidence. Very polite, bright, curious, the kind of kid who made adults stop mid conversation just to listen, like, this one's a little bit different.
Yeah.
She loved school, like loved school. It was
What's
like,
that like?
right, I don't, well, yeah, right. I've never experienced that, but I know
Me
there are
neither.
kids out there like that. And I think it's very
Absolutely.
special. So if you have a school loving kid, just
Cherish that.
be thankful because
Yeah.
that was not our experience.
No.
She dreamed of becoming a doctor. And she had this little diary that she wrote in every single day. I also had a diary that I wrote in every single day.
I recently found both one of my diaries from when I was probably 11 and also a whole bunch of notes from when I was, like, 13 that we used to pass between our friends.
Yeah.
They are hilarious. Like, they killed me. I was bent over dying laughing. It was like, "So and so said that you like Julian, but I like Julian, so I don't know where you're gonna like a guy, but it's not gonna be him."
I have a letter in a box somewhere. I think it's in storage with all my like keepsakes from my husband from 13.
You guys are ridiculous.
I know. It's so
Truly.
funny. Yeah, yeah. And I remember over the years, like, because we dated and married later in life.
Uh-huh.
But I remember coming across that over the years and just it always like did a little skip to my heart.
You guys are ridiculous.
Because if no one knows, I'm gonna put it out there. My husband and I dated when we were really young. We were each other's like first serious like boyfriend girlfriend thing. And we lost our virginity to each other. And now we're married.
Which is ridiculous.
It's so
Which is
funny.
ridiculous. It's cute that you can tell people that, like, "I lost my virginity to my husband," and just leave out whatever
And
happened in
right. And
between.
I'm like, let's just leave out the 20 something years in between.
I need to talk about that.
Everyone be like, she's so innocent and
I know.
sweet. I'm like,
She's so
eh.
pure. You're like,
All right.
yeah.
Back to our Jizzy gal.
Man. Yeah.
So in these diaries that she kept, those little pages, they told two stories. So I want to talk about what we know within these diaries because it's a big part of our story and about who she was and what happened to this poor baby.
Okay.
So there were basically two full lives being written in the pages within this diary. And it's so sad because one of, the parts of the diary is about a happy little girl who loved her teachers, her friends, and her family. And the other was about something absolutely unthinkable, something happening behind closed doors that no one, not her teachers, her classmates, the people that were meant to protect her, could have ever saw coming.
You're gonna get me upset today.
It's really sad. So in July of 2013, 8-year-old Gizzell Ford was found dead in her grandmother's apartment on the west side of Chicago.
Okay.
What this baby left behind, that little diary written in pink marker, would give
Mm.
the world a glimpse into a child's courage and a horrifying situation of abuse she endured before she died. So she documented everything.
Wow. What a girl.
Yeah, and like the fact that these pages were found and her, this is her legacy. And this tells a very grim tale of what she went through. But I'm so happy she did record this.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. So it all started the year before. Her parents, Andre Ford and Sandra Marsato, were in the middle of one of those nasty custody disputes that we all, hear about on a daily basis. Andre claimed Sandra wasn't providing a stable home. She said she was. So we are going through the he said, she said kind of thing. He was stating that she was homeless, that she wasn't getting Jizzy to school on time ever. But Sandra, mama, on the other hand, insisted she was providing for her daughter. She was living with her father, raising her and her newborn baby under the same roof. And she was stating, like, Andre hasn't seen his daughter in almost a year. So, like, how could he know these things? And you know what?
Interesting.
I was raised by like a single and
Hmm.
many a times I lived with my grandparents, with my mom, like we moved in
Yeah.
with my grandparents, and it was like the best time of my life.
Of course.
So, like, if you have to move in with your parents with your kids, that does not mean it's an unstable environment. Get the fuck out of
No.
here. Pisses
Yeah.
me off. But it was one of those classic he said, she said. And in the middle of all this chaos, Helen Ford, so this is dad, Andre's mother,
Okay.
steps forward. And she says, you know what, Judge? Let me take temporary custody of Jizzy to give her like a secure environment while all this, bullshit is being kind of fluffed through.
Right.
And Helen, Andre's mom, comes across as calm, clean cut, and very responsible.
Okay.
So this is a grandmother who'd raised 11 kids of her own, and she did seem like a safe option while all of this is going on.
Okay.
So the judge is like, you know what? That is actually a great idea.
Yeah.
You take her and we'll sort it all out in the meantime. So to me, I don't think this was a bad decision based on the information that we have at this time. So in no way, shape, or form am I saying like the judge fucked up. I'm looking at it from like a singular lens of the
Yeah.
information that is being presented. And I'm like, okay, that could work, right? Someone who loves her, gives her the
Yep.
stability, fair, fair. So on November 20th, 2012, Helen shows up at Jizzy's school with a court order in hand, and the school has no choice but to release her to grandma.
Yeah.
And right there in front of her classmates, this poor little baby girl at 8 years old begs them not to let her go. She's pleading with her teachers, crying that she didn't want to go there.
No.
And from that day on, she lived in her grandmother's second floor apartment along with her bedridden father, Andre. So now, Andre is sick. He had a chronic illness that kept him confined to a bed.
Okay.
So, right there, I'm kind of like, okay. And you know what? An ill parent can be a great parent. I'm not saying that that should
Absolutely.
prevent you. But if you kind of look at it like, okay, you have an able bodied parent versus a bedridden parent, the math, it wasn't mathing for me when I discovered this. I was like,
No, I don't fully understand this either.
I,
And you're right.
yeah,
A disabled parent can be a fantastic parent,
100%.
but it doesn't sound like they had a whole lot of evidence or proof that mom wasn't
I think the catalyst in
doing it.
this was this calm, respectable looking grandmother who steps
Yeah.
forward. And I think that was kind of the part that
Thing.
really took for it. But
Okay.
anywho, I want to just clarify that the fact that dad was bound to his bed and was disabled does not excuse him from the horrors that are about to come. So dad might have been disabled, but he was able enough, if you get my drift.
Oh, I'm so upset. Already I'm upset.
It's fucking crazy. So let's carry on. At first, there were subtle signs that something might have been off. Neighbors noticed Jizzy wasn't playing outside anymore. Her teacher said this bubbly, excited little girl who was excited to participate and answer questions and play games in the classroom had gone completely quiet, distracted, and she's falling asleep every day in class.
No, Ash, this is horrible.
So, right there, I'm
Mhm.
like, no. Now, her maternal grandfather, so this is mom's dad,
Mom's dad. Yeah.
Juan Mercado, came to visit sometimes. And each time he did visit, he noticed she was thinner, withdrawn. And anytime he would ask Helen, Grandma, she would say, we just cut out sugar for her health. And sugar's not good for kids. So that might be the reason she's slimming down a little, which I'm like sitting here and I'm like, no,
No. No.
no, no.
I do not agree.
But what Jan didn't know was that Jizzy wasn't just being deprived of sugar. She was being deprived of literally everything. And I literally just like can't stop thinking about that moment because grandpa was like, there's something wrong here, you know?
I cannot. There's crimes that we see, and there's reasons that crimes are committed that we see where not that we would do the same, but we can be like, okay, we get it. We understand how they got to this point. I will never, ever, ever understand child neglect.
I know.
Ever. I'll never understand that. It just does not. There is not a reason that you can come up with on this earth to neglect a child and their needs.
Absolutely. It's so crazy to me, Chantal. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? So, throughout all of this, I think the quietness in this little girl, the withdrawnness, I think deep down she knew that something was really bad.
Mhm.
I think kids are more intuitive than what we give them credit for. And I think she
Yeah.
was trying to tell or say, but maybe in a way that maybe she wasn't allowed to. So I think with grandpa visiting and stuff, she probably wanted to be like, please get me out of here, but she wasn't saying anything. And like all grandpa knew was like something doesn't seem right, but he couldn't put a finger on it. So this whole thing, right?
Yeah. And as well, she had begged not to go with her grandmother and nobody listened. So in a child's mind, like, why would I keep like I'm
Yes.
beating a dead horse? Like, I already begged them not to take me here and they didn't listen. So nobody's gonna listen.
No. So grandpa, goes home and he's like, okay, something's wrong. So they do reach out and they're like, okay, like during a custody battle, DCFS, the Department of Children and Family Services, is required to do welfare checks
Mhm,
in any
mhm.
situation like this, especially when a child is being left with a non-parent to be cared for, although her dad was there. And they were supposed to do regular welfare checks because any temporary custody arrangement, they have to do it.
Mhm.
And mom and grandpa were like, please go and check. Something is wrong with our child. Teachers are noticing. People are starting to talk. Like something is not okay here. Their checks basically, and like, I'm going to say this with as much like non-anger or bitchiness as
As you
possible.
possibly can. Mhm.
They might as well not have fucking went
Good. Perfect. Love that.
because they note in their file the home was cluttered,
Okay.
filthy. There were
Okay.
roaches everywhere,
Mhm.
but they never took action.
No, 'cause that's fine for a child.
Right? They also noted some bruises and some blood, but
That's fine.
sometimes kids,
Kids will be kids.
right? And I'm thinking to myself, the fuck are you doing? Your job, your only job as someone who works with family and children's services or DCFS is to protect the children. If there is even a fucking inkling that something could be wrong,
Yeah.
hello?
Yep.
Yep. So during this so now keep in mind custody battles are still going on and mom and grandpa are like, hey, something's going on here. This is what is being found. Can we please have her back? Something is wrong. This home is not safe. It's not clean. There are signs of something being wrong, but nothing definite. So after accusations during this custody battle are coming to light, the grandparents and the grandma throw in that Jizzy's mom's boyfriend was abusing her.
Jizzy's mom's
Mom's
boyfriend.
boyfriend
Okay.
during
Okay.
visitations. So they call in a doctor to do a physical examination. So this is Dr. Norel Rosado.
Okay.
But by this point, she's already living with Helen and Andre for about 7 months. So we're 7 months into this custody battle, 7 months into
Okay.
this little girl living there. Now the doctor finds these loop-shaped bruises and abrasions, including scabs marking all over her thighs and buttocks. So these are classic signs of abuse.
Uh-huh.
This motherfucker, and you know what? Dr. fucking Rosado, you're a motherfucker because
Good.
instead of flagging it,
Mhm.
he said the injuries were non-specific. He said, I think they might be self-inflicted. An 8-year-old with abrasions and bruises on her buttocks? How the fuck are you bruising your own ass? Hello?
I can't this system is so broken. I and you know what? I know we come on here and we sound like broken records, but I truly cannot believe how broken this system is. I've just been catching up on Serial, the podcast, and I don't know if it's season 5 or season 6, but the entire season is about how parents are having their children taken away from them when there is no abuse happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we're not taking kids away from actual abuse. Like, what's
Ridiculous. And like for me, when I was reading it, it was sinking into me. I'm like, an 8-year-old girl with marks consisting of whipping.
yeah,
He called them self-inflicted and never reported it. Hello? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you as a human
that is
being?
so
Not even as a
disturbing.
fucking doctor, but as a fucking person.
Mhm.
So, just weeks later, DCFS visits again, as they have to do legally. They saw blood around her mouth, open sores on her body. And grandma waves it away with excuses. Oh, she's picking, she's, rough playing, she's falling, she's a clumsy child. Like, what in the actual fuck? And these motherfuckers from DCFS believe her. They're like, okay,
Okay,
ma'am, we
sure.
understand. Nothing is reported. No red flags are raised. No emergency calls are made.
Gosh, this is terrible.
Now, while all this is happening, our sweet little babe is still writing in her diary.
Good girl.
Her diary was covered in rainbows. She used pink marker. And at first, she would write about skipping rope, her teachers, her clothes, all the things that make an 8-year-old's world feel big and safe.
Yeah.
But by late spring, her entries changed. They become very short, scattered, and heartbreaking. And I have some of the entries, and I'm going to read them to you.
Boy. All right.
One entry said, I hope that I don't mess up today because I really want to be able to just sit down.
Oh my God, Ashley. Whoa.
I would really like to watch TV, talk, and play with everybody. Then just underneath that, she wrote, Not true. I failed. I hate this life because now I am in super big trouble. Another entry read, I know if I am good and do everything I'm told, I won't have to do punishments. That made me sick when I read that. And I want to tell you what those punishments were, because this isn't like, the punishments we give our kids where you're like, no TV for 20 minutes or, no dessert after dinner or, something like that. These punishments were the most unthinkable fucking things you could imagine happening to a child. She was beaten. She was starved. She was gagged. They tied her up for hours to a metal pole attached to her father's bed. She was denied the bathroom, forced to soil herself, and made to stand in a squatting position overnight. Could you imagine standing in a squatting position for more than 10 minutes? We're talking like
I
8 to
struggle
10
with
hours.
2 minutes.
Girl. And still, after all of this is going on, she would apologize. This poor baby would blame herself because that's what starts to happening when abuse becomes your everyday reality. It rewires you. Something in your brain believes it's
Yeah.
your
That
fault.
you're
If
bad.
if you did something that you shouldn't have, well, then it's your fault if you're beaten. It's your fault if you've made a mistake.
Of course, we all have that. We're grown-ups. When something
Mhm.
terrible happens to us today, we find ourselves going, "What did I do? What did I do to deserve this?"
Yeah,
So
it's
can
so
you imagine a child?
no.
Wow. Wow.
So, like I had said earlier, the warning signs were everywhere. Teachers saw what was going on. Neighbors saw something was wrong. DCFS saw something was wrong. Even her pediatrician saw that something was wrong.
Hmm.
And yet, every single one of them missed an opportunity to save this baby. And I could fucking scream. When I was looking at the diary entries, in one of her final diary entries, she wrote, I am going to be a beautiful, smart, and good young lady. I can do anything I put my mind to. That one
Gosh.
broke my heart because despite everything, the beatings, the starvation, the pain, she still believed that she was going to, grow up and have a future and she was going to make it out.
That is so sad.
It's so sad. Like,
Yeah,
I, like, looking at that was like, it broke my heart.
I know.
Anyways, sorry about the tears, people. By July of 2013, Gizzell's diary would fall silent. Okay, on July 13, Helen Ford called 911. Her voice
Mhm.
was calm as she told the operator that her granddaughter wasn't breathing. When first responders arrived, nothing could have prepared these people for what they walked in on.
Mhm.
Jizzy was lying in a bedroom, naked except for a torn pair of green underwear.
Okay.
Her body was covered from head to toe in bruises, some new, some old. Her lips were split open in multiple places as if being punched in the mouth. Her mouth was bloodied and a cord was tied tightly around her neck. She was cold and she had been dead for hours. One officer actually that arrived on the scene had reported it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his entire career. And even the seasoned detectives broke down. Fuckface Helen, her bullshit story, I could fucking scream, claimed Jizzy had tied the cord around her own neck and accidentally strangled herself.
Of course. Of
Right? Because
course.
that's, and she
Yeah.
probably beat herself as well
Yeah,
because,
for sure, for sure. Punched herself in the face, split her own lip. Yeah, that adds up.
Detectives and police at the scene were like, you're a fucking moron. We know exactly what was going on here. There were such deep cuts around her wrists and ankles, signs that she had been restrained for quite a while. Her long dark hair had been torn out of her scalp, so she had abrasions all over her scalp. And okay, so trigger warning, because this is terrible. One of her head wounds, because it had been untreated for so long, there were maggots.
Yeah.
Her autopsy showed that she had literally been beaten to death. The cause was strangulation and blunt force trauma. It took me a really long time to write this because I had to keep putting it down. And I was like, no, I got to get this out of my head. I was like, Kate, got to get up and do something. I can't think about this. I can't think about this. Like, it was fucked. And I was like, no, I have to tell. I have to tell this story because this
Yeah.
baby people need to know. And people need to know what these fucking monsters did to this little girl.
Yeah. I hear podcasters often, and there is no judgment. Like, I fully respect. There are a lot of true crime podcasters who refuse to do anything regarding children. There's a lot of podcasters who will not touch sexual abuse. And I understand that and I respect that.
100%.
For you and I can't imagine a loved one or even somebody that I don't know, like Jizzy, going through what she went through at the end of her life and no one ever saying her name again
I
because
know.
it's too hard for us to listen to.
Absolutely.
And that is why,
We do it.
at least with us, we will always, some of these episodes are tough. This one is heartbreaking. I feel sick, but we will always include these stories because that's not fair.
No, she
That's not
can't be
fair that,
forgotten.
no, because their story was too disgusting and too dark and we have a hard time looking at it. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't be talking about it.
And although we always try and focus on the victim and remembering, I want these motherfuckers to be known for what they did. You don't get to slink into the
Yep.
shadows. You don't get to just fucking disappear, you fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I hope
Agreed.
the wrong person hears this. Just saying.
Does a little
Does a
Googling,
little,
a
yeah.
little Facebook FBI.
Huh?
Yeah, agreed.
Right? So, as investigators go through this apartment, they find her diary, that pretty little pink notebook.
Yep.
And these fucking idiots were so self absorbed in their torture, they didn't think that it could even be a possibility that this little baby is recording everything going on in her book.
Yep. She was writing it all down.
And, to be a fucking fly on that wall when they're like, oh, really? Because this is what we have.
Yeah.
She
She
didn't make this
strangled
up.
herself? Hmm.
So, cunt faced Helen Ford was
Mhm.
arrested that same day and brought in for
Good.
questioning. This bitch was the calmest, the coldest. Like, there was no panic, no remorse. She was calm, cool, smiling, collected. And she was telling this rehearsed story about how Jizzy had hurt herself and how she was out of control and that Helen had no choice but to discipline her.
We're not grandparents yet. And God, I hope we're not for a while. But, your mom is an active grandparent. My mom is an
Mm-hmm.
active grandparent. There is not a world where after my child or one of my mom's grandkids dies, there's not a world where my mom is sitting calmly and talking.
And smiling and being like, well, she was out of control. Like, what the fuck? My
Like,
my parent like my parents can't even say no to anything to my kids. I'm like, who are you all of a sudden? Because you weren't like this with me.
I know. So this is shocking, regardless of how that little girl died. This is abnormal. You're, as a
Crazy.
grandparent, you're not sitting there calmly smiling. Well, she was a lot. She was a handful.
The
What?
fuck?
Get the fuck out of here, Helen.
Now, while Helen's sitting there spinning
Mm-hmm.
her little bullshit tale, the police are in the apartment. And what she's saying doesn't add up to what they're finding in the apartment because inside this fucking shithole of a place, They found belts, extension
Hmm.
cords, ropes, and socks soaked in blood and saliva.
God.
Like, they were using these for systematic torture. The worst part of it was the whole thing was being recorded.
Shut up. They were filming it?
They're fucked.
Were they selling it?
Let's continue.
Fuck.
The trial didn't begin until 2017. So this is 4 years after our sweet baby dies. Helen opted for a bench trial, meaning no jury, just a judge, which, motherfucker, if I was a judge, I'd be like, no, no, no. You're going to sit here in front of your fucking peers and you're going to look at their faces while
Yeah.
we tell them what you did. But you
I
are,
agree.
I don't think it should be an option,
No, me neither. Not for something like this.
not for
Like,
something
sorry.
like this. So she was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery of a child, and aggravated child abuse. During the hearing, prosecutors read Jizzy's diary out loud in the courtroom. They wanted the judge to hear this little girl's voice. These
Mhm.
hopeful little world were these words mixed with trauma because she was still a baby and you would still see like, I want to jump rope, like, I want to watch Care Bears, like stuff like that. Like that has to be read to the judge because it has to paint the picture of this baby. She's a baby. But then, because there's always something extra that will fuck your day up, came the videos. Footage recorded on a phone inside the home. In one of these clips, Helen Ford can be seen berating Jizzy, a sock stuffed into the child's mouth, while she stands motionless and terrified. In another, Jizzy is swaying on her feet, eyes half closed. She's in pain. It looks like she wants to pass out, while Helen and her father, Andre, the fucking man who was so disabled and couldn't work or do anything, they
Uh-huh.
stood there and taunted her. And who is filming this, Chantel? Fucking dad.
That's
Now,
great.
during the testimonies, because they had people come up and testify, obviously, like teachers and doctors and everything else, which you all should be ashamed of yourself, just so you know. That is my take on this. You all saw signs, something wasn't right, you did nothing. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
these just were bruises on the knee. These were serious fucking situations, and everyone just turned a blind eye.
And with the personality change as well. Like, I mean, that's a 5 alarm
Yeah,
emergency.
right there, right there.
Immediately.
One of the people that testified was Jizzy's 10-year-old half brother. He got on the stand, tiny little 10-year-old voice trembling,
I can't.
and he said he had seen it all. He said Helen would beat Jizzy with a belt, make her squat for hours, even force her to eat hot peppers as punishment. And if Jizzy would cry, she would shove socks in her mouth with hot peppers to silence her. Then he said something, and this was fucked to me because he says his punishments were nothing compared to Jizzy's, and he broke down crying. He said what was happening to his baby sister was 10 times worse than his own punishment, and he didn't understand. So it's the whole thing is disgusting. This fucking haunts me because this poor baby is sitting there feeling guilty. He's 10. He's 10. And he watched a child who he loved, his sister, his little sister, being fucking tortured, abused, beaten, berated, like the whole thing. And
Awful.
he felt guilty that his punishments weren't as bad as hers. It's heartbreaking.
It's so this.
Yeah. So by the time Jizzy did die, her body was shutting down. After weeks of starvation, dehydration, and endless beatings, she was literally dying of kidney failure. So this was even before she was strangled. Her organs were shutting down. And after hearing all of this, the fucking defense tried to argue that Helen hadn't meant to kill her.
Okay.
Their
Say
defense,
something.
yes, please do, because when I tell you what the defense said, I could fucking scream.
I gotta tell you something. I understand a defense lawyer's job. I get
Yep,
it. I
yep.
do. And I fully believe, for the most part, it's really difficult to try to argue for these sick, twisted motherfuckers. Okay. A case like this, there's not an amount of dollars in this world that would make it okay for me as a human being to
Mm-hmm.
stand up and defend someone like Helen Ford. It doesn't exist. I'm telling you guys, there's not an amount of money that you could offer me that I could stand up and defend Helen Ford and go to bed at night. It doesn't exist. The number does not exist.
It's fucked. Knowing you would know, you're like, this is a fucking monster, and I'm trying to get her
Wow.
out.
I, and again, not coming for you
No,
defense
it's
lawyers.
their
I know
job,
some of
right?
you listen to our podcast. We love you guys. We know
Yeah,
it's your job. We know it's not easy.
but man,
In a case like this, I cannot get behind this. I
I
cannot
can't either.
understand this.
So the defense called her an overwhelmed grandmother. They said she was caring
Oh.
for a bedridden adult son and 3 young grandkids, and she was doing her best.
She asked for Jizzy. She wasn't there.
Right?
Why are you taking on other kids if you're overwhelmed?
They even, Chantal, went as far to suggest that some of her injuries were probably self-inflicted,
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
that she was a troubled young girl. Could you fucking imagine standing saying that after you've looked at the pictures of a child being murdered and saying, maybe that one, maybe that Bruce, she did that one to herself.
And she's 8, right?
She's a baby, yeah.
She's 8. Okay. Just from my own experience, and I know all kids are different. When my daughter was 8, if she got a little rug burn on the carpet, it was the end of the world. My 8-year-old was not hurting herself. And I know that it happens. I know that it can happen.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. This sweet, bright, young, like full of rainbows and butterflies and skip rope was not going home and beating herself.
No,
Get out of here.
the fuck, it's disgusting, and I
I
fucking could,
can't.
it's so bad. Then fucking Helen's stupid fucking sister takes the stand as a character witness.
My God.
And she
Her
says,
sister?
oh, fuck. I know deep down in my heart she didn't try to kill Jizzy. And then she says, she's a good woman.
Yeah.
There,
My God.
bitch, you just watched a
Yeah.
video of her berating an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. That they filmed.
What? There is evidence your sweet fucking sister gagged her, tied her, beat her, starved her, tortured her. That child had maggots growing in her fucking head when she was alive, and you're going to sit there
Yeah.
and have the audacity
She's
to
a good
say,
woman.
come on, fuck off.
All right, Ash. I'm really hoping that you're about to tell me that they all fucking died in a lake of fire.
The judge wasn't having it.
Well, good.
The verdict comes down, and she was guilty of first degree. And during sentencing, the judge said something, and I'm like, I like you, sir. And I quote, "This murder was torture. The child suffered a slow and agonizing death. Her body looks like it had been pulverized from head to toe. This was not accidental, not a mistake of overwhelmed care, but a systematic, excruciatingly cruel act, punishable only by life without parole." Now, Helen was only 55 at the time. So I'm like, she didn't fucking blink, this bitch. She didn't apologize. She didn't cry. She didn't, like, nothing. She didn't even, like, look around. She just stared straight forward. Yeah. Now, before we wrap this up, we need to talk about this fucking dad. Because I haven't really talked about this prick. And I'm gonna, because that's
I
what we
hate
do
him.
around here. I hate him. Because while Helen was the one physically abusing his daughter, Andre was the instigator. He was
Perfect.
He was the voice behind the camera, so they could hear him in these videos telling Helen what to do. He was laughing. He was enjoying this. He is a fucking psychopath. Now, he was charged too, but before he could stand trial in August 2014, he died in jail of a fucking heart attack. And I am pissed about it. I'm so mad about it. I wish he would have, if he had to die and that was his time, cool. Could we not do like a flesh-eating bacteria? I'm thinking, some kind of crazy parasite that ate him from the inside out. burned
Yeah.
alive. I'd be happy
We'll
with
take
maybe
it
any
all.
of
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
or even just, like, but that pissed me off.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah. I agree.
After everything wrapped up, Jizzy's mother, Sandra Mercado,
Hmm.
did file a wrongful death lawsuit against the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services and against
Good.
the pediatrician because, yes,
Good. Good. I'm so glad.
DCFS had visited the home 3 times during this time. They saw the filth, they saw the injuries, they saw the red flags. They
Did
didn't
nothing.
report anything.
Perfect.
And really, if DCFS had done their job, this baby would have been alive.
Yeah.
Fucking point blank, mic drop, that baby would have been
Yeah.
alive. You guys fucking let her die.
This was your fault. Yeah.
Yeah. The case did end with a $48 million settlement against the doctor, which sounds like justice, but he is still a practicing doctor, Chantal.
What?
In fact, just so everybody knows, Dr. Rosado now leads the child abuse unit at a major Chicago hospital.
Interesting. That sounds like a fun Google activity for later.
Yeah. Now, to play devil's advocate in this, could he have done that maybe out of guilt, or, like maybe he was like, I let a child down, I'll never do it again. And I hope and pray that is the case here.
I do too. I do too.
But either way, the irony to me is sickening. He let a child, down. He didn't pick up the signs. How can you allow someone lead a child abuse unit that let a child die? And maybe this is him like trying to turn a leaf and repent
Maybe.
for and to save other children. But at the end of the day, I don't know that I would trust it.
Here's the thing. When you fuck up that hard at your job, you're not good at your job.
No,
It's not for you.
no.
It's like mistakes happen, and I'm not going to say it's okay, but mistakes happen. After something like this, maybe you're not a doctor anymore. Maybe you,
Maybe if you want to repent for your fucking massive fuck up, go volunteer somewhere.
yeah,
But
yeah.
don't be the lead, or
I
even
don't
work
know.
there, but don't be the lead doctor. What the fuck are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah. I don't know. And again, like, I don't want to judge too deeply, but I kind
I
of do
know.
because this
I
is
know.
horrific.
It pissed me off.
Yeah,
So Gizzell Ford was 8. She loved pink. She wanted to be a doctor, and she tried her best to be a good girl, even when the world wasn't good to her. She had every reason to believe that someone or anyone would save her, but no one did.
yeah,
And the only way to honor her, in my opinion, is to remember how she lived, not how she died, but remember that she did exist in this world, and she was sweet and she was perfect and she was
yeah,
innocent. And, when you think something could be wrong with a child, you see the signs that something might be wrong, believe that something is wrong in your whole heart. You just have to go into it and, like, you know what, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you judge it in the wrong way. But at the end of the day, if it's wrong, it will be proven to be wrong. But what if you're
exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah. We're not saying, that everyone needs to go around, being this martyr, being this, calling every 5 seconds,
No,
every time you think something's, but guys, we got to listen to our intuition a little bit more. Like that's really important. And if you have that gut sinking feeling, maybe it's a friend of your child's, maybe it's a kid you see at the park. If you have that gut feeling where you're just like, something's not right here, it's okay. You can call. You can call
yeah,
anonymously in both Canada and the US,
100%.
and just be like, "Hey, saw this kid. Something's not right. I think you guys should check it out." That's all you have to do. It's all you have to do.
Yeah. So that was the story of our sweet baby girl, Gizzell Ford. And honestly, guys, if you made it through this episode, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because it wasn't easy to tell,
Nope.
but it matters. It matters. It matters for us to take a beat, think about this little baby, because she mattered.
Yeah.
So that was my story for today.
Thank you. I hadn't heard of this one. And, You know what? I was just thinking this year I've decided that on my Christmas tree, I'm going to have a little ornament for each of the cases I've covered. Like
Mhm.
just a little something,
Little
just as a
something.
like, these are victims, these are real people. Jizzy was a real little girl. I'm gonna get a nice little pink bow. I'm gonna stick it on my tree.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, like she wanted to be someone. She wanted to be here, and she's not because of this monster. Ashley, thank you so much for letting us learn about Jizzy and learn about her death, but as well as what a bright young little lady she was.
Yeah. You're very
All right.
welcome.
Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you all on Tuesday.
Tuesday. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.